So where did I find time? It's called getting up at 3 o'clock in the morning, because as you said, I work for Councilmember Trayon White, and that is more than a full-time job. But this is a labor of love. So I do it in between, the dinner hours, the 3 o'clock in the morning hours. And today with us is Austin R. Cooper Jr. He's a board member of the William O. Lockridge Community Foundation. I'll let him introduce himself.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Wanda. Thank you, young brother, for calling me young. I've been called a lot of names recently, but never young. But no, I joined the foundation first as a member of the Public Relations Committee when Wanda and her family first established the foundation in the spring of 2011. And I became a board member several years later. And it is a labor of love for the young people in our community, particularly Ward 7 and 8.
Well, Wanda and I both sit on the board of Douglas Community Land Trust, so we're both familiar on what type of demand of time sitting on the board is, and we want to thank you for your service, sir. Young man, because that's what it's about. That's right. I tell people all the time, old is dead, young is alive.
Yes,
That's
sir.
right.
Yes, sir.
I like that.
And those are not just my words. That's Roy Ayers.
All right.
Okay.
I love that.
Yeah, Roy Ayers said, told me that when he was in his 20s, he thought 30 was old. He was in his 30s, he thought 40 was old. And I was with him on his birthday. He said that old is dead, young is alive.
I'm going to use that. I'm going to use it.
Oh, he also said, drink your water and stay away from toxic people, and you'll stay young a long time. And I think what you guys are doing is you trying to preserve our young people from being exposed to the toxicity that's in their communities far too often, and giving them some fresh water for their travels to have a good start in life. How has that been accomplished and addressed through Dancing with the Stars?
So Dancing with the Scholars is an element of us to be able to raise
scholars. Excuse me.
I mean, I know it's popular, so many people say Dancing.
They are stars.
Okay. They are stars, and they absolutely. I want people to remember they are scholars as well. These are young people that have many opportunities to do great things, and so we want to recognize them as just that, great scholars. But one of the things that Dancing with the Scholars allow us to do is to raise dollars for our programs. One of the programs is the International Ambassadors Program, where you're right, we absolutely take our young people outside of Ward 7 and 8, and we take them to the continent of Africa, where they can see where their ancestors are from, where they can experience just possibly a little bit of what our ancestors went through, to go through the door, to return, to come back and to really recognize that we are privileged here like some others not necessarily on the continent.
Mm-hmm. Now, why did you choose the medium of dancing to get your point across and to make this event work?
So art is one way of just forming and addressing ourselves, and just to show what our skill sets are. It's a way of creativity. It's a way of showing that we are one of individuals who can just take one thing and just go to the another. I'll let Austin also jump in right here, but it also allow our students, because we have many students that's in dance classes, and to give them an opportunity to really showcase their skills to their community, to their parents, to their friends. And so we thought doing a fundraiser with like dinner or lunch, those dollars generally go to the venue. It goes to your food and your beverages. This way, the dollars that we raise absolutely go to our programs and invest in our kids. One of the things that we, most people ask for sponsors. I'm gonna stop using the word sponsors, because those who give dollars to our community, they are actually investors. They're investing in our young people from now until later. So all of those individuals that's come out to support our students, they are investing in our communities.
I like that.
I would only add that to your question on that, dancing, it's a part of our history. It's a part of our roots going back to the motherland continent of Africa. And with each of the Lockridge ambassadorial delegations that Wanda has taken to Africa in recent years, it's been Ghana, Cameroon, and most recently the Republic of Benin in West Africa. This past July, As part of those visits, they have seen firsthand the importance of dance as a culture. You know, back in the days of slavery, even before our ancestors came over here to the continent, dancing was expression of art form, expression of love, expression of religion, an expression of our religion. When our ancestors came to the shores of America, dance and music was a way that they communicated amongst themselves in a way that our slave masters would not understand nor appreciate.
You know, Dave Chappelle had an appearance on Saturday Night Live this past week, and I don't know if you guys had a chance to see it.
I saw it.
Beautiful monologue. He got him in some trouble, but I think George Carlin would be very proud. But one of the things that they're now talking about was a skit they did, and he was portraying a blues artist, and he had an album called Potato Hole, and everybody was like, "What's Potato Hole? Potato Hole?" And then he hits one of the punchline there. Potato Hole was this hole that enslaved people dug to preserve their most treasured possessions, because as an enslaved person, nothing belonged to them, even themselves. And so the only thing that they could have some dominion over was whatever they could find to preserve in that hole. And it was a potato hole. And I think, and then he hits him with a punchline. I think that what we have done and what we continue to do is try to find these holes and to preserve what is that we can have dominion over, what is treasured by us and our culture. And I love what Ms. Wanda just said, that she's no longer saying that these are sponsors. These are people who are investing in our children, and by doing so, they're investing in our future. So you guys dug this hole to preserve what you found value in, and now this event is a celebration of everything that we had in that potato hole.
Absolutely.
And I think it's an opportunity for it to be, put out in the sunshine. So tell people when the event is happening, where they can go, how they get their tickets, and how they can support the work that we are doing to continue to invest in our future.
Absolutely. So Dancing with the Scholars will be held this coming Saturday, November 19th at the Arc, 1901 Mississippi Avenue. And you can get tickets at our website, which is www.williamlockridgecommunityfoundation.org. And there's a long name that you can go. You can actually go on Eventbrite, because it's on Eventbrite as well, and just look for Lockridge Foundation, Dancing with the Scholars, and get tickets there. I would encourage you all to come out and have a good time. So I will say, and you've hosted this before, King, so you know how much fun we can have. We can have. And so this year we changed it up a little bit, because you remember we had our city council members being the judges, and we had State Board of Education. Yeah, we had State Board of Education dancing. This year we're flipping it, because what I didn't say is the theme is the Battle of the Kings. We're representing the Kings this year. We want to tell our strong men in our community that we see you, we recognize you, we honor you, and we want to recognize you on Saturday. And so it's the Battle of the Kings. So we have elected officials, those that you've seen on the dais, the legislators, the policymakers. So they're actually dancing. So if you can imagine Council Member Robert White at large dancing on Saturday with a student from, I think he's dancing, well, we have Anacostia, we have Friendship Tech, and we have KUUMBA, which is on King Avenue, performing this year. That's the first year they're performing. So it's going to be interesting to see him outside of his role as a legislator. We have Marcus Batchelor, who was our Ward 8 State Board of Education representative. And we have our Ward 7 Dems president, Wendell Felder. And so they're going to show their skills with our students. It's just a lot of fun. And the judges this year will be our State Board of Representatives.
Now, Mr. Cooper, I'm going to put you on the spot here. My favorite component of the Dancing with the Scholars is the judging and the numbers they throw out. What is your favorite aspect of Dancing with the Scholars that you enjoy to see?
You know, I enjoy, my favorite aspect of the program is, thinking in my mind who I think is winning, and sometimes being surprised, sometimes not being surprised. But what I really enjoy, in all honesty, young brother and Wanda, about the evening, is the sense of the sense of family, the sense of community wellness. This is it's a well-known, it's a very look forward to community event that's held every November by the Lockridge Foundation. And when you're there, you've been there, young brother, you just get a feel of closeness, amongst people who you've never met before. Sometimes it's a reunion. So last year when we did it, was a reunion. It's my first time being in person since before COVID. And I especially like our young people who are performing and our young people who are in the audience to have the opportunity to see firsthand and to interact with the heroes and sheroes of our community. You have the opportunity to meet a mayor of the District of Columbia, Mayor Bowser. You have the opportunity to meet a Ghanaian ambassador, an African ambassador to the United States. So it's a great, it's a great opportunity for fellowship.
And all this time, I thought it was my dance move that you turned excited about. It wasn't my dance moves.
It was always that outfit you be rocking.
Exactly.
Because I didn't know how to turn up.
I didn't know if I could say that and get in trouble. So I was being diplomatic.
Yeah, I gave her a disclaimer before you came on. She gave me a
okay.
So yes, because that's one of the things that this is not just a beautiful event, but everyone comes out with their best. To show these young people how valuable they are. And what I love about it is the juxtaposition of what we said when I misspoke earlier about Dancing with the Stars. That event is pretty much surrounds artists who are nearing the twilight of their careers, shall we say. But this one is more like a send-off. This is like the beginning. This is like the genesis. This is like the kumbaya of young people who are like dancing into a new world, and they are all about to embark upon this journey of life. And it's almost as if it's a rites of passage for a lot of these young people, and the foundation that the work that the Lockridge Foundation has given them to stand on. And I know one of my favorite activists, Emma Goldman, she says, if I can't dance, it's not my revolution. And I think that dancing has been therapeutic for us, I would say. So the fact that you chose to dance in that movement, I just love it, because out of the pandemic, the one thing that I missed the most was dancing, the opportunity to go out and dance, and not just dance like in that same old two-step, but like when you lose yourself in a song, yeah. I love seeing older people dance. That's like one of my greatest, if I'm depressed, if I see some old people dancing, I'm right back in the game, bro. So a lot of people who are going to catch wind of this interview may be outside of our area. So please share your information again on how they can support this work going forward and also year round. Absolutely.
Thank you for that, because this is, if we're really going to invest in our kids like we say we are, and we say it often that we want to invest in our kids, we want to get them off the street, want to offer them opportunities. And so the way to do that, I would also say that you can certainly make a donation to the foundation. You can volunteer. Our website, again, is www.William Lockridge Community Foundation. There's a donate button at the very top. In-kind services, volunteer service, all of that matters. And so in any ways that you are able to help, you can contact us directly at info@William Lockridge Community Foundation. If you have any questions or concerns, and we'll get back with you within 24 hours. I try to respond within 24 hours. So again, that's info@William Lockridge Community Foundation. We look forward to having your support.
Yes, and I would be remiss if I didn't give you the floor for those outside of DC area. Ms. Wanda, please let them know who William Lockridge was and how is this a reflection of his legacy?
Oh my gosh, thank you. William Lockridge came to DC as an educator. He actually came to work on his uncle's campaign, Calvin Lockridge, for the school board. William stayed here and he served as an educator. He started as a substitute teacher at Ballou Senior High School, at several other elementary schools as a substitute teacher. He became a permanent teacher at Ballou Senior High School as a biology teacher. And I have to tell this story because it's a little funny. So
Really?
as a substitute teacher, you know, if I remember as a student, I not necessarily took them serious as a substitute teacher because they were just there for maybe a day or two. And so they would play around, the students would play around. When they found out that he became the permanent teacher, they had to straighten up because he was really giving them the grades. But one of the success stories I would have to say is the principal at Ballou Senior High School was William's former teacher. And so he went away. He said to me that William was the reason he went to school and came back and now the principal at Ballou Senior High School. But outside of that, after William taught in many schools and a school coordinator, he decided that he could do more for our students and closing the gap as being a policymaker. And he ran for the State Board of Education. At that time, it was the school board, and he represented Ward 8. And you may remember there were 3 iterations of the State Board of Education. It was the Board of Education, then it was a hybrid under, I think it was Anthony, maybe it was Fenty, where they had a hybrid where you elected 4 members and he appointed 4 members. So at that point, William was the District 4 representing Ward 7 and 8. And that's where we came up with our targeted area of students to serve is Ward 7 and 8 east of the river, because that's what William represented at the time. And now obviously it's the State Board of Education, which he served as well. So he served in all 3 iterations of the board. So we decided to do this foundation just to try to do a little bit of the work that he was doing, closing the gap for our students, making sure that we raise the bar for our students. We know our students can do whatever we want, but we have to raise the bar for them. We can't just say, okay, you made an A, but an A in one school may be a different kind of A in another school. And so we want to just challenge them. And the way we do that is, yes, just one way is through our international program that we talked about earlier, but also the U.S. Foreign Services Initiative that we launched last year. And I'll have Austin to talk about that. This is one that he created, so I don't want to steal his thunder. But we also do scholarships, because it's one thing to get students who are interested in going to college, but we have to help them get through college. And the way we do that, we have an emergency assistance fund. So if there's a need for a student who may need to come home on emergency, they may need books, they may need toiletries, whatever they need, we have that service as well to them. Last year, we gave out $46,000 in scholarships, up to $5,000 for a student. And this year, our target is $50,000. We're not going to do any less than $50,000 in scholarships.
Okay, that's quite a feat, quite a task. Mr. Cooper, your thunder.
Yeah, and thank you, thank you for that, Lockridge. This is something that that I and the team came up with. Thank you for the credit, Juan, but it was really my idea. But we all, worked to massage it to what it's called the U.S. Foreign Service Initiative. And in a nutshell, it's an initiative that is designed to expose our young people in Wards 7 and 8 to careers in the international arena at an early age. I did not travel to Africa for the first time until I was 38. And, had I been exposed to international travel, I can honestly say that I would have made different career choices. I most likely would have gone into the U.S. Foreign Service and become a Foreign Service officer. So what we do with this initiative, and as Wanda said, it was a 6-month initiative. We're going to resume in January, but we had between 8 and 12 students from around the community who met one Saturday a month, either, I think the first month in January, because of a snowstorm, we were on Zoom, but our subsequent sessions were in person. And we had speakers, board members, we had speakers from the community, we had speakers from outside the community who came and spoke to our young people about different topics. The first session was trade, another session was diplomacy, another session was arts and culture. So it's really good. And, we did not want to, young brother, just lecture to these students. They made it important, they made it well known to us very early on that they did not want to be lectured to. So we took their advice in hand, and we made it very interactive. And the students enjoyed it. One trip that we did was we took the students to the northwest section of Washington, D.C. What's it called, Wanda, that we did Ghana and D.C.?
Potomac, Egypt on Potomac.
Yeah, Egypt on the Potomac, and we
Well,
did a tour.
Tony Browder. Yes,
Tony Browder.
Exactly. Yeah. And for me, and I'm not a native Washingtonian, but for me, the exposure and these buildings and park that I had driven by and not given any thought to, that's a park. No, it's more to a park.
Right.
There's an important history there. And that's just another example of how we have exposed our young people to what's happening in Washington and the history of the city and how it ties into the continent and international.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. And I just want to say real quickly the things that that was probably the most important field trip I've ever taken, at least inside the city. Absolutely. And you look at things differently. And so as part of this education, let me drop a little jewel. Washington, D.C. is one of those few cities that's deliberately designed. People need to understand that everything is symbolic in Washington, D.C. And we have these circles in the city, which is really a military strategy, so they can shut down the city very quickly, because once you control the circles, you control the entire city. So inside each one of those circles is some honor to some military person. And that military person is on a horse. If that horse is on all four hoofs, then the rider of that horse died of natural causes. If that horse has one hoof raised, then the rider of the horse died from injuries that incurred during battle. And if it's reared up on its hind legs, then the rider of the horse died on the battlefield. Learned all that taking this field trip.
On that tour, exactly.
Don't you think about it? They're communicating at a higher frequency, And so I think that what you guys are doing is trying to recalibrate the vibration and raise the vibration so that our consciousness can keep climbing. Because I tell people all the time, what's wrong with these young people? Well, if they've been living in an impoverished condition their entire lives, and this is all they've ever seen, they haven't even been to kings to millions, some of them, that's not their fault. This is all they've seen. So that's why their behavior.
Exactly.
They are really a product of the environment. And I love that you brought up traveling, because I think traveling is probably the greatest education. Just
change your whole trajectory.
That's right. Just to get to see something else. So you guys are showing them something differently. I know our time is running down here, but I want to make sure that I make time for shout outs. As we at Greater, we do shout outs. And if you guys wanted to acknowledge some of the investors we have, but real quick, let me recap. This year's Dancing with the Scholars 12 is Men in Black. The Battle of the Kings is Saturday, November the 19th from 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. at the Art Theater with free parking. 1901, that's important. That's very important. 1901 Mississippi Avenue Southeast. I like to call it the Kennedy Center east of the river. Dance with Scholars returns. And this is, again, the 12th edition, and to support students from Ward 7 and Ward 8. And for those outside of DC area, that is east of the river in Washington, DC. It is the highest population of children in the city. And due to gentrification, it also has a highest concentration of poverty in the city. I think somewhere around 30% of our children are living below the poverty levels, which means that you're acknowledging a need. So in acknowledging that need, I turn the floor over you guys for shout outs and all those people that's investing to address those needs.
Absolutely. Thank you for this opportunity. And we have many investors this year. I think we have reached, this is the most that we've had. We have about 28 investors. And I started out with Coca-Cola, Amazon, Red Brick, The Informer, KIPP DC, Anacostia Bid, the Washington Gas Company, Pepco, McKinsey Group. We have PAVE DC. We have WC Smith, Bridgepoint, and the list goes on. Taylor Adams Associates, I mean, there's so many, so we are so very thankful for everybody who is investing in our young people. I want to just say this before we close out is you heard about some of our programs today. Dancing with the Scholar is the only fundraiser that we do per year to support these 4 programs that we talked about. So your support is totally important to us, and we appreciate anything that you can do to help us. We do not get grants. We do not go with federal grants, district government grants. We depend on our friends, our family, and people like you who are listening in today. So thank you for this opportunity, King, for allowing us to come and share with you what we're going to do next Saturday. As my son says, we're going to turn up on Saturday and have a good time.
We'll turn up. All right. This little public service announcement real quick. Also this Saturday, November the 19th from 1 to 4 p.m. There's a warm up DCs or free food and Coke giveaway at the Randall Methodist Church. It's a pep rally for peace in the streets. That's located at 1002 46th Street Northeast, Washington, D.C. That's warm up DC, free food and Coke giveaway on this Saturday from 1 to 4. So you can come out there and donate coats and food for our people in this community that needs it. And then you can, of course, turn up and dress up for
That's right.
the 12
Exactly.
Scholars. So on behalf of Ms. Lockridge and Mr. Cooper, let me close out with the words from the late, great Whitney Houston. I believe the children are the future. Teach them well and let them lead the way. Show them all the beauty they possess inside. Give them a sense of pride to make it easier. Let the children's laughter remind us how we used to be. We gave credit to Whitney Houston, but we might want to shout out Randall Watson. Bro, you know, sexual chocolate. But thank you guys for the work you guys are doing. Real quick, any more shout outs? This is React Radio. Any thank yous?
Shout out to you. I hope to see you Saturday. I'll have a ticket waiting for you. Just tell me that
I gotta find an outfit because I ain't messing with you.
You come as you are. You know, you come as you are. It's no doubt about it. But I'm
looking forward to meeting you, brother.
Yes, absolutely. So yeah, thank you to our board of directors. Thank you to our committee members. If you all know Barbara Jones, she's going to have it laid out for you every single time. So if you come, you're going to not only have a great time, but you're going to have a nice atmosphere to just, and it's a family affair. It's a family affair. We work hard. So if you work hard, we need to play hard. Happy, what is it? What's the day? Tuesday. Happy Tuesday.
Happy Tuesday.
They had me working at 3 o'clock in the morning, so I can't keep up with the dates.
There we go.
So happy Tuesday to everybody. Thank you again for having us.
And thank you.
Thank you.
You'll do something. Peace and blessings.
Appreciate you.